When I was younger, I would open my eyes and I'd be turned a completely different direction from when I started. So I've seen a big change.
In Meridian, Mississippi, a quiet child in a church pew began whispering what would become a national voice. Jamal Roberts was born on November 6, 1997 in Meridian, Mississippi, and from the earliest memories he was woven into the fabric of church life. His paternal grandfather served as a bishop, his maternal grandfather as a deacon, and that religious legacy shaped his earliest musical instincts. Roberts has recalled that by age 2, his grandparents noticed his ability to carry melody. He began singing hymns, covering the Temptations and Michael Jackson, and serving as usher and choir singer whenever the church doors opened. While many potential stars begin with youthful ambition, Roberts' emergence was stealthier. No early reality TV fame, no viral recordings, just a boy surrounded by gospel, rhythm, and family faith. He also played drums in church, showing that music was more than a hidden talent, it was his environment. Even so, Roberts' early life in Meridian was not a glossy backdrop. He's spoken of crime and struggle in his hometown, saying that some days people don't even want to come outside. A tension between pride in his roots and acknowledgement of adversity. What makes his path compelling is how unforced it feels. Music, faith, family, all in tandem. But that foundation would soon be tested in ways that reshaped him. Transition hint: the early harmony would clash with deeper discord, a story of abandonment that Roberts rarely revealed. He once said he understood abandonment, but never fully why it cut so deeply. Jamal Roberts did not grow up in a home of perfect closeness. He has openly spoken about feeling abandoned by his birth mother, a wound he wrestles with even today. In a revealing interview on the Love You More show, Roberts shared that his mother later had more children yet maintained distance from him and his brother. He asked quietly, "What did we do so bad?" Raised by a stepmother and grandmother, Roberts describes stepping into a world where emotional affirmation was rare. His father, he admits, was not emotional and didn't give hugs or praise. The contrast left him grappling with identity and rejection from an early age. This sense of absence shaped his internal narrative. He says that when others hear pain in his voice, it originates here from a young boy asking questions with no answers. "I still hear like, what's going through your head," he said, reflecting on the voice inside him trying to understand. Yet rather than retreat, Roberts transformed that silence into fuel. The abandonment he felt becomes part of his testimony, a source of emotional authenticity in his performances. Judges and mentors remarked on how he sings with an emotional weight that feels lived, not acted. In public, he speaks softly about this pain, resisting melodrama, but the private gravity is unmistakable. That tension between longing and voice would later draw audiences in. Transition hint: even as that internal conflict simmered, outwardly he led a life many might see as normal, a teacher by day, dreamer always. By day he was a PE teacher guiding children. By night he nurtured a song inside him no microphone had heard. Before American Idol's bright lights, Jamal Roberts worked at Crestwood Elementary in Meridian as a physical education teacher. He coached, taught, and walked hallways, a public servant in sneakers with a voice only his closest circles heard. Colleagues describe him as humble and committed. After winning Idol, he returned to the school, even doing bus duty, as a gesture of grounding, refusing to let success immediately erase his roots. A staffer captured him assisting with buses, prompting fans to praise his humility and loyalty to his Crestwood family. American songwriter. Roberts' daily life was balanced on a tightrope. Father to 3 daughters, teacher to dozens of children, and secretly an artist in waiting. His youngest daughter, Gianna, was born just before he reached the top 8 on Idol. He later introduced her to fans on Instagram on May 16, revealing how the show and his children's lives collided publicly. In interviews, Roberts explained that teaching wasn't about money, it was about impact. He said he hoped his students would see him as inspiration, and occasionally he imagined slipping back in to mentor or visit, even if time no longer allowed full return. Yet even in that seemingly stable life, the stirrings of ambition whispered. He auditioned for American Idol 3 times before his breakthrough. Early attempts were met with critique, too young, lacking polish, but Roberts absorbed feedback, refined his approach, and kept returning. The teacher was more than a fallback, it was the foundation. That balance would prepare him for pressure and give him perspective once fame arrived. Transition hint: his persistence would soon collide with the harsh realities of auditioning and a stage that demanded fresh reinvention. The hard road of auditions and rejection. 3 auditions, 3 rejections, but he never let no define his voice. Jamal Roberts' path to American Idol was not immediate. He auditioned multiple times and each failure carried lessons. His first audition received mixed feedback, yes for potential and no for polish. Judges suggested he needed vocal training. On his second try, Roberts advanced but stumbled when confronted with an unplanned challenge. Judges asked for a second song and he was unprepared. He was eliminated. Rather than retreat, he listened. He interpreted critique not as rejection but as recalibration. "I didn't get defeated," he later said. "I never gave up. I took the no." By his third audition, he carried more maturity, deeper emotional grounding, and stronger technical readiness. This attempt aligned with context. Season 23 of American Idol featured judges Carrie Underwood, Lionel Richie, and Luke Bryan, plus the return of ABC's broadcast dynamics. Once aboard the show, Roberts refused to be boxed in. He shifted across genres from gospel roots to Motown, Disney, country, and soul, always making the performance his own. That flexibility kept viewers guessing and judges impressed. His decision to personalize the song "Heal," he penned an original third verse, became a standout move. Throughout the rounds, mentors and viewers noted an authenticity in his voice, one that carried emotional texture and vulnerability. In particular, Jelly Roll's coaching moment was memorable. After Roberts performed "Liar," Jelly Roll told him he felt real pain, that it couldn't be taught. That audition journey, full of risk, refinement, and quiet resolve, prepared Roberts for a finale that would push him into record territory. Transition hint, then came the night that redefined him. Over 26 million votes, a groundbreaking win and sudden scrutiny. When 26 million votes landed, his victory made headlines, but the spotlight also sharpened questions. On May 18, 2025, Jamal Roberts was crowned the winner of American Idol Season 23, securing over 26 million votes, the highest total in the ABC era. His win marked a historic moment. He became the first black man in 22 years to win American Idol, following Ruben Studdard's triumph in 2003. Yet the celebrations came with whispers, rumors that his manager was reaping disproportionate financial benefit. Rather than ignore speculation, Roberts addressed it directly in interviews, stating that his manager takes nothing and that any booking he receives is passed through to the artist. His stance was firm. He would not allow rumors to define his narrative. Critics challenged whether an emerging artist with limited catalog could justify such a win, but Roberts' performance trajectory was strong. He defied genre boundaries and delivered emotionally resonant renditions across many styles. In finals, he sang Her Heart by Anthony Hamilton and revisited his adapted Heal, leaving many judges and viewers visibly moved. Back in Meridian, his community welcomed him with open arms. He returned to his former school and even resumed bus duties, a gesture that struck many as a sign he had not forgotten where he came from. Yet that return also signaled the tension of transition. How do you go home when home is no longer small? Roberts himself acknowledged it. In a one-on-one interview, he noted that under his new schedule, full-time teaching might not be possible, but any chance to step into the school would be a way to remain tethered. WAPT. The glory came fast. The challenges, both internal and external, only grew. Transition hint. Even as his name surged, Roberts worked to translate victory into legacy. After the title, legacy, new music, and forward momentum. Winning Idol wasn't the end for Roberts. It was a launch point into a bigger story still unfolding. In the months following his win, Jamal Roberts moved quickly. He released Heal, a reimagined cover with his own verse to strong reception, charting atop gospel platforms. Then, in July 2025, he surprised audiences with an original single titled Mississippi, a tribute to his roots and the emotional terrain he continues to navigate. His social media rollout encouraged listeners to stream, share, tell me what you think, and fans responded. Comments praised its emotional pull, nuanced lyricism, and sonic authenticity. For Roberts, it's not just release, it's handshake with his audience. On stage, he secured a spot supporting Brandy and Monica on the Boy Is Mine tour, with Kelly Rowland and Muni Long, in fall-winter 2025. This opportunity signals his shift from talent show victor to touring artist, stepping onto shared stages and extending reach. He also hasn't shed his identity as father. The three daughters who buoyed him through the show, Harmony, Lyric, and newborn Gianna, remain central to his public narrative. Roberts has often spoken of making up for lost time and weaving parenthood into his goals. Critics and fans now scrutinize whether he can avoid the classic Idol fade. But Roberts leans instead into consistency over spectacle. He speaks in interviews of honoring legacy, staying true to self, and letting the art carry consequence. Already, he has performed at the Be More Summer Festival in Atmore, Alabama, a free concert that brought him closer to communities rather than distant stadiums. Yellowhammer News. In this moment, he stands at a crossroads: legacy or flash, sustainability or hype, and he seems intent on choosing depth.